All right, it is Monday, and so this is my reading update. Baby, I have just been through the ringer with my recent reads, and I'm just going to get into it because I feel like I'm going to have a lot to say, and I've got to get these videos under 10 minutes because I talk too much. Okay, so I finally finished Big George, Game of Thrones. This was a buddy read that I did with a big group. There's like five or six of us who decided that we were going to tackle this series together. I think three of us finished. I read this for the entire month of April and 2 days into May. I did not think it was going to take me that long to read. So, just quick thoughts. Honestly, if I had read the book first, I don't think I would have watched the series. I'm not saying that it's a bad book. So, fantasy folks, do not come at me. I'm just saying that this is a lot of context. And for me, again, a newbie to fantasy, and this is high fantasy from what I understand, is that this is like 600 pages of world building. And it was just a lot. I just didn't find myself getting as invested and into the story as I did the show. And so this is just one that just truthfully for me, I will rewatch the show again. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the book as much. The characters, I did have a different experience with the characters in the book versus the show. So of course, I feel like Tyrion was a phenomenal character in the show. He's still a good character in the book, but I just feel like the character on the show was just so much better for me. I will say that Catelyn, I don't recall hating her in the show. I did not like her in this. John's character I loved in the show more than I did in the book. And again, maybe just because it's book one. And I'm in my mind, in my soul, am thinking of these characters collectively for the entire series. And so maybe that's not fair. But I will say I just didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I would. And I know it's not just because it's fantasy, because again, I read Sword of Kaigan by Emma Wang at the same time, and I ate that book up. It was delicious. So I'm putting this down. I cannot say for certain that I'm going to finish that series. And if I do, it's going to be spread out over time. I just know that's not one that I'll be able to bang out back to back to back to back. Now, on to what I really want to talk about. And do you see this smile? That's because Chantel, Chantel. So, um, another book bestie introduced me to Chantel Davis last year. And I read, I want to say like six, because I read one and I just couldn't put them down. She got me out of a book slump last year. And so I've been reading some other things and I was slumping hard this last like 2 months. Like I've only read maybe 10 books in 2 months, which is not me having a bragging moment, but that's just not a lot for me. And I don't know what it was. I feel like the fates just put a reel that Chantel Davis created for a recent release, Luciano. And so I was like, ooh, it looks tasty. I need to read it. Then I realized that it is book two in the No Saviors Here series. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do what I never do, which is read book one first and then read book two, because I was looking for something to read, and they're usually short, under 300 pages. So it's something that you really get done in a weekend or a couple days. So I was like, I'm going to dive into this one, because at that point I had finished the books I was reading and I just kind of needed something to really just get me back engaged into reading. And Chantel delivered. She delivered. So first off, there's going to be spoilers in this. So I'm going to just tell you right now. So let's just get that out the way, because I don't want to have to pause for spoilers later. So we're going to start with book one of the No Saviors Here series, and it is Saint Valentine. So Saint Valentine is the main male character, and Aria Hart, and it might be Aria, but in the group chat we was calling her Aria, so she's gonna be Aria today. They meet as kids. They're both children of big mafia families and of the dom of these families, right? They meet as young kids. I think they said he was 10, she was 8, or maybe 8 and 6, but I feel like it was 8 and 10. But he just did not have the best childhood. She surprisingly did, and she immediately wanted to protect him on their first meet. And it was just, it's such a cute and unique meet cute for a love story. Fast forward, so Saint has made a name for himself, in their, I was saying their community, like they're bakers or something, but in their world. And Arya, he's never forgotten about her. They had two happenstance encounters as children, and in his mind, he clocked it. That's wifey. No if, ands, or what's about it. So they are grown up now, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take her. She's mine." Listen, kidnapping is not for everybody. It is not everybody's trope. And let me start by saying these are dark romances. And Chantel's gonna tell you in the description, baby, this ain't a love story. This is a fill in the blank story. It's a kidnapping. And my girl Lila Lit's gonna say it was a soft kidnapping because you're gonna be kicking your feet and giggling the whole time. But I ate this up. And I think what I love so much about her series or her books in general is that it's not your typical like he saves her, she saves him kind of situation. It's usually two people who have their own issues unique to themselves, and they're gonna combine forces, and it's just gonna be nuclear. It's not a happily ever after always type of situation, but it was so good. So I actually got Lila Loves Lit and Read the Tea to read this with me. This was their first Chantel Davis book. The Kikis and the DMs were DMing. It was so good. We ate it up and immediately picked up book two. Okay, so that brings us to Luciano, which is book two. And y'all, first of all, I feel like there's something wrong with me. I need to be studied because I should not have loved this man like I did. Like, I am ruined for book boyfriends now. So, you do get a sneak peek of Luciano and St. Valentine because, for a loose term, they're friends. They run the same circle, they're affiliated. So, you get a little glimpse of Luciano's character in book one, to which Saint told Luciano in book one, if you like her, go take her. Duh, that's what I did. And I'm happy. Not the best advice to give a friend, but in this one, Luciano and Ava, it's gonna be a little taboo, and I don't want to hear nobody's mouth because it is what it is. Their parents marry. Mind you, Luciano was not in the States. He was living in Italy with family. He does not meet her in person until he's 16, and he comes home. And the moment he sees her, he's like, I will protect this woman with everything I have because there's something about her that I just have this, I'm drawn to her like a moth to a flame. So, like, they have one crazy encounter when he's in the States for like 5 seconds, and that's it. And for her like entire life, he is flying and secretly checking in on her. I know, stalking, I get it. This is a book. Do not at me. He comes to her city, he's checking on her, he's learning everything about her, just, on the sly. She does not know. And then one day he comes to collect a debt for his father, which is her. So he shows up at her house and he's like, come on, we're going home and we're getting married tomorrow. To which she's like, okay. But no. So she's no damsel, right? She tries to fight it early on. And the crazy thing is, I was like 70% in or 60% in, and so much chaos has happened. And I realized that it had only been 24 hours. Chantel was writing like the rent was due. It was so good. And his character is so dark and brooding, but he's so freaking lovable because he goes through some trauma as a child, something a child should never go through. And it breaks him. I mean, just truthfully. And so he's very analytical. He's not like expressing his feelings. People refer to him as a robot. But at the end of the day, he might be a robot to everybody else. But for Ava, he's him. I devoured this. This was the juiciest thing. I was supposed to be taking a nap. I couldn't put it down. I was up late. I devoured this book. And I promise you, Chantel, don't tell me that there's not a book three coming. And don't tell me that it's not Brooker and Dewanda. They need a book. We are waiting. But if you like dark romance, if you're not afraid of something that's a little bit taboo, like I said, it does have kidnapping. Check your content warnings. Obviously, read safely. But if you love a good, juicy, dark romance with morally black characters because it ain't even great, check it out.